Hello, everyone, and welcome back. You're listening to Daily C1 English Vocabulary. My name is Emma.
And my name is Tom.
Today, we're exploring 13 powerful words and expressions that will help you talk about pressure, perseverance, and well being. Topics that are absolutely essential in today's fast paced world. Whether you're discussing work life balance, creative processes, or simply describing how challenges affect us physically and emotionally.
We'll break down their meanings, show you exactly when to use them, and help you understand the subtle differences that make each word unique. Let's dive in.
Our first word is strain, a noun and verb that's incredibly versatile and appears constantly in both everyday conversation and professional contexts. Let's start with the noun form, which has three main meanings.
The first meaning is physical or mental pressure or tension. For example, the constant deadlines were putting a tremendous strain on the entire team. Or, caring for her elderly parents while working full-time put enormous strain on her health. This meaning is extremely useful when you want to describe pressure that's wearing someone down. The financial strain of student loans affected his decisions for years.
The second meaning is a physical injury caused by overuse or excessive stretching of muscles or ligaments. For example, he couldn't play in the final match because of a muscle strain in his shoulder. Or, the doctor diagnosed it as a back strain and recommended rest and physical therapy. This is a medical term that's useful in everyday contexts. It's less serious than a tear, but more significant than simple soreness.
The third meaning is a particular type or variety of something, especially bacteria, viruses, or plants. For example, scientists discovered a new strain of the virus that was resistant to existing vaccines. Or, this strain of wheat is particularly drought-resistant. You'll hear this meaning frequently in news about diseases or agriculture.
Now let's look at the verb form. To strain. When you strain, you're pushing something to its limits. You might be straining to do something difficult. She strained to hear what they were saying across the crowded room, where you're making an intense effort to catch the words. Or you could physically injure yourself. He strained his back, lifting heavy boxes, where you've pushed your body too hard and hurt yourself. Or you might be stretching a system or resource beyond what it can handle. The healthcare system is strained to its breaking point. Or the unexpected expenses strained our budget.
This word works in both formal and informal contexts. Compared to stress, strain often suggests something more physical or tangible. Stress is what you feel internally, while strain is the actual pressure or tension being applied. Compared to pressure, strain suggests that the pressure has been ongoing and is starting to cause damage or wear.
When you're under strain, you might need a blueprint to guide you forward. Our next noun. A blueprint originally meant a technical drawing or plan used in architecture and engineering, literally printed in blue ink. For example, the architect presented the blueprints for the new building to the city council. This literal meaning is still common in construction and design contexts.
But the metaphorical meaning is what makes this word so powerful in everyday speech. A detailed plan or model for how to achieve something. For example, her business plan served as the blueprint for the company's expansion into new markets. Or, the coach's training program became the blueprint that other teams tried to copy.
Blueprint is perfect when you want to emphasize that something serves as a detailed guide or template. His first novel established the blueprint for all his later works. The same themes and structure appeared again and again. This word has moved from technical to mainstream and works in both formal and informal settings, though it carries a slightly professional tone. You'll often hear it in business, politics, and planning contexts. We need a blueprint for how to handle these situations in the future.
Compared to plan, blueprint suggests something more detailed and structured. A plan can be vague or general, but a blueprint implies specificity and careful design. Compared to template, blueprint emphasizes the comprehensive nature of the design, while template just means a reusable pattern.
Once you have your blueprint, you need to persist. Our next verb. To persist means to continue firmly in a course of action despite difficulty, opposition, or failure. It's about determination and refusing to give up. For example, despite repeated rejections from publishers, she persisted and eventually got her book published. Or, if the symptoms persist for more than 3 days, you should see a doctor.
Persist is incredibly useful when you want to describe sustained effort over time, especially in the face of challenges. He persisted in his research for over a decade before making the breakthrough discovery. This word emphasizes the ongoing nature of the effort. You're not just trying once, you're continuing despite obstacles.
The noun form is persistence. Her persistence finally paid off when the company agreed to interview her. And the adjective is persistent. The persistent pain in his knee finally forced him to see a specialist. Or, she's incredibly persistent. Once she sets a goal, nothing stops her.
This word is relatively formal and appears frequently in academic, professional, and inspirational contexts. Compared to continue, persist emphasizes the difficulty or opposition you're facing. You continue watching a TV show, but you persist through challenges. Compared to persevere, persist is more common and slightly less formal, though the meanings are very similar. Persevere often appears in more inspirational or literary contexts, while persist is more neutral and everyday.
Sometimes when you persist, you have to hold back. Our next phrasal verb. To hold back means to restrain yourself, to not express something fully, or to deliberately not use all your effort or resources. It has several related meanings that are all very useful.
First, it means to restrain your emotions or words. For example, she wanted to tell him exactly what she thought, but she held back because it wasn't the right moment. Or, tears filled his eyes, but he held back, not wanting to cry in front of his colleagues. This meaning is perfect for describing emotional restraint. I could tell she was angry, but she was holding back.
Second, it means to deliberately not give full effort, or not reveal everything. The team held back in the first half, saving their energy for the final quarter. Or, I could tell he was holding back information. He knew more than he was saying.
Third, it means to prevent someone or something from advancing or progressing. The lack of funding is holding back the research project. Or, don't let fear hold you back from pursuing your dreams.
This phrasal verb is neutral in formality and incredibly common in everyday speech. You can also use it with from. What's holding you back from applying for that promotion?
Compared to restrain, hold back is more conversational and often suggests an internal struggle. You're restraining yourself, not being restrained by others. Compared to suppress, hold back is less formal.
When you're persisting through challenges, it's important to be compassionate, both toward others and yourself. This adjective means feeling or showing sympathy and concern for the suffering or misfortune of others, combined with a desire to help. It's deeper than just sympathy. It includes the urge to alleviate suffering.
For example, she was a compassionate manager who genuinely cared about her employees' well-being and personal challenges. Or, the doctor's compassionate approach helped patients feel comfortable discussing difficult topics. This word is perfect when you want to describe someone who not only understands suffering, but actively wants to help. Another example. We need more compassionate policies that address the root causes of homelessness.
The noun form is compassion. She showed great compassion toward the refugees, volunteering at the center every weekend. Compared to sympathetic, compassionate is stronger and more active. Sympathy means you understand someone's pain, but compassion means you not only understand it, but want to help alleviate it. Compared to empathetic, compassionate emphasizes the desire to help, while empathetic focuses more on understanding and sharing feelings. You can be empathetic without being compassionate, but compassion usually includes empathy.
Our next word is evocative, an adjective that means bringing strong images, memories, or feelings to mind. It describes something that has the power to call emotions or memories vividly. For example, the evocative smell of fresh bread reminded her instantly of her grandmother's kitchen, or his evocative writing transported readers to a different time and place.
This word is useful when discussing art, literature, music, or any sensory experience. The photographer's evocative images captured the loneliness of urban life perfectly. Or, the film's evocative soundtrack enhanced every emotional moment.
Compared to expressive, evocative specifically emphasizes the power to bring things to mind. Something expressive shows emotion clearly, but something evocative makes you feel or remember something. Compared to reminiscent, evocative is stronger. Reminiscent just means it reminds you of something, but evocative means it powerfully brings thoughts and feelings to life.
When things are going well, when your efforts are paying off, you might find yourself thriving. Our next adjective and verb. To thrive means to grow or develop successfully, to flourish and prosper. It's not just surviving or getting by. It's actively doing well and growing stronger. For example, after years of struggle, her business is finally thriving. Or, children thrive in environments where they feel safe and supported. This word is perfect for describing success that's dynamic and ongoing, not just static achievement. The local art scene is thriving, with new galleries opening every month. Or, she's thriving in her new role. The adjective thriving describes something that's currently flourishing. They built a thriving community center that serves thousands of people. Or, despite the economic downturn, it's still a thriving business.
This word works in both formal and informal contexts and carries very positive connotations. Compared to successful, thriving emphasizes ongoing growth and vitality. Success can be static, but thriving implies dynamic energy. Compared to flourishing, thriving is more common in everyday speech, though the meanings are nearly identical. Flourishing sounds slightly more formal or literary.
Sometimes you feel the pressure of challenges acutely. Our next adverb. Acutely means intensely, sharply, or keenly, to an extreme or severe degree. It describes experiencing something very strongly. For example, she was acutely aware of every sound in the silent room. Or, the country is acutely vulnerable to climate change because of its coastal geography.
This word is useful when you want to emphasize the intensity of an experience or condition. He felt the loss acutely. It affected every aspect of his life. Or, the hospital is acutely short of nurses, affecting patient care quality. You'll often see acutely with words like aware, conscious, sensitive, painful, or needed. They're acutely conscious of the need for change. Or, the medication shortage is acutely felt in rural areas.
This is a formal word that appears frequently in academic, medical, and news contexts. Compared to very or extremely, acutely is more precise and formal. Very aware is casual, but acutely aware emphasizes penetrating sharpness. Compared to intensely, acutely often suggests something painful or uncomfortable. You're intensely happy, but acutely anxious.
Sometimes something fails or succeeds solely because of one factor. Our next adverb. Solely means only, exclusively, or entirely, with nothing else involved. For example, the company's success was solely due to their innovative product, not their marketing. Or, she can't be held solely responsible for the project's failure. The whole team was involved.
This word is perfect when you want to emphasize that only one thing and nothing else is involved. He chose the apartment solely because of its location, ignoring all its other problems. Or, the program is funded solely through private donations.
Solely is moderately formal and appears often in professional, academic, and legal contexts. Compared to only, solely is more formal. Only because is neutral, but solely because stresses exclusivity. Compared to exclusively, solely is more common and slightly less formal, though the meanings are very similar.
When you don't take care of yourself, when you persist without rest, eventually these challenges will take their toll. Our next expression. This idiom means to cause harm, damage, or suffering gradually over time. It describes the cumulative negative effect of something difficult or stressful. For example, years of working night shifts took their toll on his health. Or, the constant travel was taking its toll. She was exhausted all the time.
This expression is incredibly useful for describing how challenges gradually wear you down. The stress of the lawsuit took a heavy toll on the family. Or, the drought took its toll on the region's agriculture, with crop yields dropping significantly. You'll often hear it with modifiers like heavy, serious, or devastating. The pandemic took a devastating toll on small businesses. This expression works in both formal and informal contexts and is very common in news, conversation, and writing. Compared to saying something caused damage or had negative effects, take its toll emphasizes the gradual, cumulative nature. It's not one event, but ongoing pressure that slowly causes harm. It's also more vivid and idiomatic than neutral alternatives.
When you're working too hard and not getting enough rest, you might be burning the candle at both ends. Our next idiom. This colorful expression means to exhaust yourself by working too hard or trying to do too many things, especially by getting insufficient sleep or rest. It suggests living unsustainably, using up your energy faster than you can replenish it. For example, she's been burning the candle at both ends, working all day and studying for her master's degree at night. Or, you can't keep burning the candle at both ends like this. Eventually, you'll burn out completely.
This idiom perfectly captures that sense of unsustainable overwork. Between his full-time job, side business, and social commitments, he was burning the candle at both ends and heading for a breakdown. The image is powerful. A candle normally burns from one end, but if you light both ends, it burns twice as fast and won't last as long. That's exactly what happens when you push yourself too hard.
But sometimes, even when you're exhausted, you suddenly get a second wind. Our next expression. This idiom means a new burst of energy or strength that comes after you've been tired, allowing you to continue with renewed vigor. For example, I was exhausted at mile 8 of the marathon, but then I got my second wind and finished strong. Or, the team was losing badly in the third quarter, but they got a second wind and came back to win. This expression is perfect for describing that surprising return of energy. I was falling asleep at my desk at 3 p.m., but after a coffee break, I got my second wind and finished the report. Or, the party was dying down around midnight, but when someone started playing music, everyone got their second wind.
And finally, let's end with an encouraging expression. Give it a shot. This informal idiom means to try something, to make an attempt, even if you're not sure you'll succeed. For example, I've never done pottery before, but I'll give it a shot. Or, you should give it a shot. You might surprise yourself.
This expression is perfect for encouraging yourself or others to try something new or challenging. I wasn't sure if I could learn guitar at my age, but I decided to give it a shot and I'm really enjoying it. Or, give it a shot before you decide it's too difficult.
This idiom is casual and conversational. You wouldn't use it in very formal writing, but it's perfect for everyday speech and friendly emails. You might also hear variations like, give it a try or take a shot at it, which are similar in meaning.
So there you have it. 13 powerful words and expressions for talking about pressure, effort, and resilience. Whether you're describing the strain of a difficult situation, creating a blueprint for success, or learning to persist when things get tough, these words will help you express yourself more precisely. You'll know when to hold back and when to be compassionate, how to describe something evocative or a business that's thriving. You'll understand what it means when something happens solely for one reason, when challenges take their toll, or when you're burning the candle at both ends. And you'll recognize that moment when you get your second wind, or when it's time to just give it a shot. These words will make your English more natural, more nuanced, and more emotionally powerful.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope this episode gives you the tools to express yourself with greater clarity and impact. Until next time, take care and keep learning.
Thanks for listening, and see you in the next episode.